I'm going to start telling the story, even though I know individuals are coming in. We were driving on our way to see Andrea's grandmother. This is how Colombians are. If you go out of town, everybody wants to gather to see you before you leave. When you come back, everybody wants to gather and have a party when you come back. Doesn't matter what reason, doesn't matter when. We're going to give a shout out in a minute. Doesn't matter when. Colombians are always looking for a reason to party, just like any other location that's part of Latin culture. And so her grandmother just got back from being out of town, and so we on our way to party, right? And we never drive through the hood. East side, it's not like, it's like east side Chicago, east side Detroit, or south side Chicago, east side Detroit. We never drive through the east side of Cali. Never. Everybody knows they got beautiful women, but you will never see them because you ain't got no business being over there. And if you do get caught over there, yeah, you might not be seen again. That'll be the last person that'll see you is the beautiful woman. So, but Andrea, like, let's do a shortcut because traffic was so thick because that weekend was a holiday, grandma coming back. Man, we were like 10 minutes away. They say most accidents happen 10 minutes away from home or within 10 miles of home. We about 10 minutes away from her grandmother's house. Man, this dude, you guys saw the thumbnail. That was Andrea was actually trying to take a picture of the accident, and she just so happened to catch my reaction. I'm gonna tell you guys the story, the full story. This dude tries to, from the far right-hand side. Now, one thing about Colombian drivers, they don't use their peripheral. Colombians don't believe in peripheral vision at all. They think that they are by themselves on the road. There is no such thing as peripheral, glancing, looking in the rearview. They don't do that. That's just not a Colombian thing. And so this dude tries to make a wide left from the far right lane, literally trying to go around us and several other cars that are going straight. I look over and all I see is blue coming our way. And I'm like, no, it's like slow motion. No, don't do. Bam. Dude smashed the bumper, right? Fortunately, he didn't smash the mirrors. Fortunately, he didn't. It was literally a fender bender, right? It was literally a fender bender. Dude. But I jumped out that car like that mug had smashed the whole front end, right? He has stopped. And if you look at the thumbnail, you can see his facial reaction because somehow Andre got my face and him still in his car looking through the rear view mirror. So when you look at the thumbnail photo, you can see of this video, you can see his face in the rear view mirror like, dang, right? So what ends up happening is I jump out the car. Mind you, we're in the hood, holiday weekend, traffic ultra thick, nothing but brothers and sisters, except for a few others, right? I jump out that car, I start cussing up a storm in English. Everything stops. Every car, every person, the police stopped. Everybody, it was like they were watching a play or actor. They were no longer looking at the accident of these two vehicles. They're looking at this big 6'3" brother jump out this truck and just cuss everything out in English. Most people in most Afro-Colombians out east have never heard English outside of a TV show, a movie, or a song. And so to hear a brother just jump out the car, cussing out and that's when Andre caught that picture of me cussing out everything. It took me 5 minutes of cussing just to come down to, okay, now it's time to exchange insurance and become level-headed regarding this. Andrea didn't even get out the car initially. She just like, let me let my husband just let it out. Because if I get out this car, let him let it out. Fortunately, it was police officers on bikes that just so happened to be right behind us to hear it. And it was kind of funny because so many people ran up on me to to just hear me talk. Just think, I mean, it literally, everybody on bikes, cars, everybody just hit their brakes. Bam, 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 hit the brakes. It was silent. And all you heard was me cussing and then I turned around to the crowd. I started cussing they non-driving tails out. And can't none of y'all drive. I'm tired of you Colombians with your non-peripheral using it. I'm going ham. I'm just pointing fingers. You can't drive. You can't drive. And this dude right here, the one that hit me, can't drive. I'm giving it to everybody. Ain't nobody getting through that traffic for about a good 5 minutes without getting a good finger pointing, right? So here's what happened after I calmed down. First thing that took place was we got a chance to assess the damage. Like I said, it was just on the right-hand side. It was like the bottom bumper. So it really wasn't too bad. It's one of those small pieces that have to be replaced, but it's, you know how on your tire, you may have that little piece of almost like frame or kind of like plastic, like it just goes on the side of the tire on the car frame, right? And it made our car is red, so that little plastic part around the tire is black, right? That part got damaged, and like under the bumper a little bit got damaged, but it wasn't too bad. But it was bad enough to where he gonna have to pay. Here's the scenario. So we're waiting for traffic police. The reason why we're waiting for traffic police is because local police don't have authority in Colombia to do anything for an accident except for keeping the situation calm. They were there first. Like I said, they were right behind us. And so with local police, all they can do is basically just, they were like, hey, dog, can he pay you off? I was like, look at his car and look at my car. Look at that piece of trash he's driving. I literally said it like that. Look at that piece of trash he's driving and look at what I'm driving. Do you think that man actually has any money? And the police officer was like, good point. So he said, well, it's going to be about an hour before the traffic police gets here because the traffic is thick. It's the holiday weekend. So we're in the middle, not even on the side of the road. We're literally blocking hundreds of cars in the middle of the road, waiting an hour and a half for the traffic police to come that was going to do the report. We're just there, just in the middle of it. Everybody riding by, shaking their head like, dang, man, he just smashed your car up. And so finally the traffic police shows up, right? So Andre and I are fully covered as far as our insurance. When you purchase your vehicle, well, here in Colombia, your car insurance, the first year, whatever level you get, full coverage, partial insurance, that's up to you. But that first year is in the price of the car. So if you got a new car, that first year insurance is covered. The gap insurance, everything is covered inside the cost of the vehicle. So you're not trying to, hunt around and find the best insurance, blah, blah, blah. All that is inside the vehicle that first year. You can't even get your plates without having that insurance being a part of it. So that's how important that is. But this buster here, a lot of Colombians are riding dirty. So when you ride in those Ubers, it might be a dirty dude that has no insurance, let his insurance lapse, or if this dude was one of those, you know how in Colombia they have those taxi Jeeps, and it might have 6 or 7 people inside the back of the Jeep, and then you got that one dude that's standing up, someone almost like directing it from the back. That's what one of those was. That's what that blue Jeep was that hit us. It was one of those taxi Jeeps. So he had 3 or 4 people in the Jeep, and he had the one dude on the back. So he hit our car, putting other people's lives in jeopardy. So what ends up happening, he wasn't even insured. So now he's got to come out of his pocket. So that's what we've been working on lately. And he's been cooperative. That's one thing I can say. He's been like, you know what? I effed up. My bad. I'll pay for it. Now, hour later, what ends up happening is that the traffic cops finally come. And they are the ones that took all their photos, because it's almost like a crime scene. scene. That's why you can't move your car to the side of the road. You know, like in the States, like, oh man, we got an accident. You kind of move it to the side of the road if you can to get out of everybody's way, if you can. Not here. You do not move your vehicle. You leave exactly where it is. And even though he could move his and I could move mine, we both knew, don't touch it. So the other thing that takes place, once the traffic cops come, they are thorough, man. You get 3 forms. Like in the States, they have this little notepad of almost like a ticket. They take the notes and give you a copy, and the guy copy, and the other person a copy, and they let your insurance work it out. Not here in Colombia. First thing I can say is I know that Taylor Made has said that in DR, in a few situations that he knew of people getting in car accidents, that people in Dominican Republic are nationalists. No matter who was wrong, you're wrong as a foreigner. It's not like that here in Colombia. If you got witnesses that say, listen, this dude was wrong, the witnesses will come out and say about their own Colombian, like, listen, we mess with our own people, but dog, you was wrong. You tried to make that turn and mess that man's car up. So a lot of witnesses came out and said, yeah, we saw what happened, blah, 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 blah. I mean, a lot of people stayed around the whole time waiting for the driver. I mean, waiting for the traffic cops. That's one thing that I can say. The witnesses hung out. They were like, listen, we're here. And they were like comforting him and comforting us, making sure everybody was all right. The other thing is Andrea's family came out of the woodworks. Like in the States, you are not going to have your family show up for a car accident, especially if you already told them it's a fender bender, it's nothing major. Listen, your family in the States ain't going to show up if you got a broken leg in a car accident. They just not going to show up. Like, we'll meet you at the hospital. But Andrea's family came out the wood, families, friends. I was like, are they bringing the party out here? I mean, everybody just started showing up from out of nowhere, right? Which was cool. His people too. His people started showing, and it wasn't like a bad thing, like, yeah, my people versus your people. There was nothing like that. It was just like everybody just trying to make sure everybody was okay. The other thing was the traffic cop. What they do here in Colombia, they actually do a outline drawing of the scene. So they have like streets. They have a sheet of paper that looks like a street, and they actually draw out the incident. So you get a copy of this big sheet, you get a copy of the full report, and you get a copy of something else. And then by the time he got done doing everything, our insurance attorney, what we call the insurance adjuster, he came out. So he was out there like within maybe 10 minutes after the cops got there, the traffic cops. So he was there. So he did his report, and he got a copy of the traffic report. And so I guess that's when my man realized, okay, this just ain't no regular brother. First of all, he got his license. It feels so good to just throw my license out there. Bam! Got my L. So what ended up happening is he realized, like, man, this brother got his L. He got full coverage insurance. He's looking at the truck. He's like, man, this truck is brand new, blah, blah, blah. He started looking at the whole scenario. He's like, I'm going to have to pay. He's trying to talk to Andrea, giving Andrea all type of excuses like, I just bought the truck, blah, blah, blah. Andrea like, I don't give a dang. You coming out your pocket, player. So be ready. And so he was like, you know what? Whatever you need, I'll pay. I'll take care of it. I'll pay for it. Just keep me posted. So him and Andrea have been talking all through the whole situation. So what happened is this. Our insurance company said, listen, if you go through the insurance, it may impact your premium for next year. Since it's such a small fender bender, how about we just order the part that needs to be replaced, and you find a local mechanic, because we know mechanics, and we'll have a local mechanic do the small minor repair work for you, and you just get the money from him and go ahead and pay the local mechanic. So that's what we end up having to do. We end up doing it that way, so it doesn't impact our premium. Facts, I flipped my Challenger in the States 2 years ago. My family asked me, are you okay? And that's it. No one showed up. Yeah, the States, y'all, we ruthless in the States. We just don't give a damn. Man, I mean, Andre and I ain't get a scratch, a scare, or nothing. You'd have thought we were the way the family showed up. We had already talked to everybody. The only thing we were worried about, because it was grandma's belated birthday party, because she was out of town for her birthday, so that's what we're doing. Have a little cake, a little ice cream. Only thing I was worried about, like, man, we got all this ice cream in the trunk. So they made sure that the ice cream got over to grandma's house. But other than that, everybody just showed up like I said, his people showed up, and then the people that were in his truck, they had to wait around the whole time. Just imagine you paid for a ride on this taxi Jeep. You think you're on your way home from work or on your way to work, and all of a sudden there's a car accident and you're in it. So now you have to wait around because you have to wait around. So it took, I kid you not, it happened about 2 o'clock. It was about 4:30, 5 o'clock by the time we got a chance to drive off. It was easy 5 o'clock. Easy 5 o'clock. So one thing about car accidents or incidents in Colombia, you are going to have to be patient. And it may be that way in other countries. Just in case you guys plan on driving a rental car in a foreign country or a rental bike and you're in an incident, make sure you realize first thing you're going to have to be is patient. Number two, not all countries are like DR. So not everybody's going to just circle the wagons and say it was your fault. I understand what Russ is saying. I agree with that 100%. But fortunately, none of the people just were like, "Oh man, well he's American. Let's blame it on the American guy." It was cut and dry, and everybody was like, "Dude, you did it," because there's no way in hell you're gonna be on the far right of somebody, and you think you're gonna come across 3 lanes of cars heading in one direction, and you think you just go cut in front of all of them, and they're supposed to just stop automatically so you can make a long left turn. But in Colombia, that's what they do. I always ask Andrea, why do they have the lines on the roads? Because they do not use them. Most bikes are respectful, but I cannot stand, and I mean with a passion, I cannot stand those taxi drivers. Those yellow taxi drivers in those little mouse cars, because their cars are so beat up, they have no respect for your car. And that's the one thing that I noticed about here in Colombia. Now, let me know, guys, how it is in Cartagena, because I mean, not in Cartagena, but in Medellin. Is it like that too? I don't know if you guys have driven, but is the traffic just as crazy in that area as well? Or is it just here in Cali? And I've been hearing the same. I hear that it's congested in Bogota, but it's crazy. It's crazy here. It's definitely crazy here. It's congested, but then they take 4 lanes and turn them into. They'll take a 3 lanes road and turn it into a 5 lane unnecessarily, and then half the lights don't have. This is the funny part here in Colombia, in Cali. Half the streets don't have lights, but they have cameras. So they'll catch you for a ticket, but they don't have the lights for stop and go. I don't understand that. Another thing in Colombia, a yellow light means stop. It does not mean keep going a lot longer. It means stop. If you get caught going through a yellow light, you will get a ticket. And I'm talking about when they give out tickets, it's like a month's worth of wages for them. So their tickets are like 200, 300,000 pesos. Yeah, man, that taxi guy, the taxi guys do drive crazy there. I need to have insurance on myself. They do. They drive crazy. They think that those little mouse cars can go through the crevice of everything. Or they think that, okay, their taxi car is dented up and you don't want your new car to get dented up. So they think, well, you're going to move out the way for me because my beater has authority over your new car. And you're looking at them like, what the? And a lot of times you just kind of like slow down, let the crazy taxi drivers roll by and keep it pushing, because it ain't that serious. You ain't about to tear your car up just because they tore their car up several times over. And you can tell that they don't have any insurance on their vehicles either. A lot of times Colombians ride dirty, and you could tell if you see vehicles that are just like in the States. You could tell somebody rode dirty because they got too many dents and beat up, or they took the insurance money and pocketed it. So it's the same thing here in Colombia. You'll see a lot of vehicles that's like beat, really beat. But then you see a lot of vehicles that are new and well taken care of. So that's basically what happened. And the lesson that we learned, those I call them clown cars or mouse cars. It's crazy here too in Medellin. Oh, is it? Especially the taxis and motorbikes riding the white right. I cannot stand that. And what passport stamp? Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Great channel, man, in Medellin. What passport stamp is saying riding the white line? In the States, we stay in our lane. Stay in your dang lane. Not in Colombia. Those taxi drivers will purposely ride the white line going through the middle of the car, so you don't pass them on the left and you don't pass them on the right. So they'll purposely ride that yellow line or that white line, and you look like you really want to just run their car over. But you're like, no, let me not tear mine up just because theirs is tore up. So that's absolutely correct. They do right here in Colombia. They will ride that white line. Another thing, the bike riders, and I'm not complaining because it's not as problematic as I'm making it sound. Am I going to give up driving in Colombia? No. Point A, point B. 99% of the time, you get used to the atmosphere, because from even the movies that I've seen in Europe. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys that have been in Europe. It's just like in the States. It's just like South America. You just got to get used to the atmosphere of driving in another country. It's not bad at all. It's not hard as it might sound or problematic as it sounds. But right now I'm venting. So, but yeah, Chad is absolutely correct. Passport is absolutely correct that they do ride that line, and they do it on purpose. And it's just like when you stop at a stoplight, all of a sudden 7 motorcycles cluster in front of your car. They don't believe in, okay, I got my lane, you got your lane. They just come from out of nowhere, ride from the side, and they just cluster around your vehicle. And they are the ones that take off first. But here it is. Your car might be a little faster than the bikes. So now you got to watch them and ride the brakes, because grandma in front of you with a scooter. Because here in Colombia, grandmama riding her bike, mom is riding a bike. You see babies, little kids. I'm talking about little kids that on the back of the bike that are like 6. I'm like, how you got this child using kid strength to hold on the back of a bike? So you got all that you looking like, what the heck is going on? So you have to make sure that you're careful, because if one of them shorties fall off of that back of that bike, and the one reason why they do that here in Colombia, pedestrians, no, bikes have the right of way first. So if you hit a bike, don't matter what happened. If it was the bike fault, it's your fault. And bikes know it. They know they ride. Now they will quit. They are quick to jump in front of somebody's car from the right hand lane and cross 3 lanes over to make a left hand turn, or the opposite, because they know if you hit me, it's you. It's your fault, no matter what happens. So one thing about the bikes in Colombia, they know that they can get away with mass murder. But like I said, it's not as problematic as I might be making it sound with this story. But at the end of the day, it is a lesson learned about the process of what if an accident happened here in Colombia. So at least I feel comfortable enough to be able to share that story with you guys. At least that we have our way our insurance is set up to protect us as far as hospitalization, as far as emergency rooms. Our insurance is like the full coverage you can get. And so we'll keep that coverage because it works out well for us and it's no problem. But like they said, if we had went through the insurance company, because the other guy didn't have insurance, it would have impacted our insurance next year. And we don't want that to happen. So a lot of things that we have in the States are familiar here in Colombia. But some things are different. Like I say, how long the traffic cops take and all that, because Colombia, they ain't got that many police anyway. So